We've developed sensors that can watch with an all-seeing eye and see an area about the size of a small city, all at one time.
This is the next generation of surveillance. For the first time, we actually have permission from the government to show the basic capabilities. It is important for the public to know that some of these capabilities exist.
This image was taken 17,500 feet above Quantico, Virginia, and covers 15 square miles.
This whole image is at a very, very fine resolution. So if we wanted to know what is going on in any spot along this image, say near this building at this intersection, we can generate a moving image that shows what's going on in the area.
Simply by touching the screen, Antoniades has opened up a window showing a detailed area, while still maintaining the broader context.
And everything that is a moving object is being automatically tracked. The color boxes represent that the computer has recognized the moving objects. You can see individuals crossing the street. You can see individuals walking in parking lots. There's actually enough resolution to be able to see the people waving their arms or walking around, what kind of clothes they wear. And you could pick the location of where you produce these images anywhere in the entire field of view.
Antoniades can open up to 65 windows at once and can see objects as small as 6 inches on the ground.
From even 17,500 feet, the white thing that you see flying around is a bird.
Argus streams live to the ground and also stores everything, 1 million terabytes of video a day, which is the equivalent of 5,000 hours of high-definition footage.
So you can go back and say, I would like to see what happened at this particular location 3 days, 2 hours, 4 minutes ago, and it would actually show you exactly what happened as if you were watching it live.
We are more aware tonight than we have been in a while about just how much power the government has over our lives. The massive leak of information about the NSA surveillance on Americans really does affect virtually everyone in the country. Tonight we accelerate our coverage of this most timely topic. In part one of Prying Eyes, Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge continues her reporting on a place where all that data is heading.
Bluffdale, Utah, 25 miles south of Salt Lake City, the NSA is nearing completion on a gargantuan new project. It's named the Utah Data Center. The NSA will neither confirm nor deny the specifics, but some estimate the center will be capable of storing 5 zettabytes of data. To give you an idea of how much data is in a zettabyte, think of it this way. One iPhone 5 has 16 gigabytes of storage. 1 terabyte would be about 62 iPhones. Stacked, that would be 19 inches high. 1 petabyte would be more than 62,000 iPhones, which would reach higher than the Empire State Building. An exabyte would be more than 62 million iPhones, reaching higher than the International Space Station. And just 1 zettabyte would be more than 62 billion iPhones. Stacked, they would reach past the moon. If it really has 5 zettabytes, the data center could in theory store every email, cell phone call, Google search, and surveillance camera video in America for a very long time. Drake says Americans should be concerned about letting the government go too far in the name of security.
The only way you can have perfect security is have a perfect surveillance state. That's George Orwell. That's 1984. That's what that would look like.
And Drake is not alone in feeling that way.
Whatever you did electronically, they could capture.
Bill Binney worked at the NSA for nearly 4 decades, starting as a data analyst in the days before desktop computers.
My estimate was that they were collecting on the order of 3 billion a day.
3 billion phone records.
3 billion, yeah. That's just internal to this country.
In simple terms, NSA was spying on Americans inside this country.
That's correct.
Apparently Congress, which in 2008 amended the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, explicitly legalizing much of the surveillance going on, and President Obama, who reauthorized the law, agree. To Binney, it's more clear than ever that President Obama is using that authority even more aggressively than the man Democrats accused of shredding the Constitution, George W. Bush.
It's really a turnkey situation where it can be turned quickly and become a totalitarian state pretty quickly. the capacity is to do that is being set up. If we get the wrong person in office or in the government,
The year since Edward Snowden ignited a firestorm over mass surveillance conducted by the NSA. But the NSA is not the only agency tracking us. Tonight, we began an America Tonight special series on privacy. Your Secrets Out, with an investigation into a controversial new tool for surveillance that has caught on like wildfire among many law enforcement agencies. It's also creating a lengthy record of the movements of ordinary Americans. Mounted in public places or on law enforcement vehicles, ALPR devices scan the license plate of every car that passes. Each device can scan thousands of plates per minute, check each plate against a hot list of stolen cars or wanted persons. And data from ALPR devices, which includes photos, a timestamp, and location, is also retained in thousands of databases across the country and shared by various agencies.
If a license plate camera picks up your license plate many times during a week, then it can pinpoint your location and chart your pathway through your life. Now that can reveal some very sensitive information. It can tell who you associate with, which doctor you're going to, whether you're sleeping in a different house every night.
If you don't have any independent probable cause against a citizen or an individual, why are you keeping their data? There's no reason to do it.
Thing ever to happen to someone is to be driving on a freeway, cars going like super fast, and your car just instantly powers down.
2 years ago, Candace Smith says she and a friend were driving on a busy stretch of Interstate 15 in Las Vegas when her car's engine suddenly stopped.
And I started to panic real bad, and I just like looked over like this, like, oh my God, like, what's going on?
The reason her car stopped wasn't a mechanical issue. She says it was her auto lender. The company, she says, determined that she was late with her payment and remotely turned off her car.
And all of a sudden the steering wheel locks up. It was super scary. So if it wasn't for the person that was in the car with me actually pushing the car over to the left-hand side, I think we would have been hit or probably dead.
As a growing number of auto lenders extend loans to those with poor or damaged credit, they are increasingly turning to new technology called a starter interrupt device to spur timely payments and, they say, help rebuild credit with flashing lights, loud beeping, and the threat of remotely disabling the car.
So there is a tough love approach with our technology, and whether it be a subprime lender, a bank, or a credit union, it's really how they're approaching the consumer is with that tough love. We want to help them get on their feet, but sometimes it does require a very consistent reminder, and in some cases, the disablement of the start of their vehicle.
The Obama administration has approved a plan to require so-called black boxes in all new cars sold in the U.S. Those devices will show exactly what you do behind the wheel, and privacy advocates worry about what else they may reveal. Charles Hadlock has more.
Shoppers of all new vehicles will soon get more than they bargained for. A data recorder watching a driver's every move. Beginning in September of 2014, every new vehicle sold in the U.S. will be required to have a so-called black box. The insurance industry supports the move, even though most drivers are unaware that 96% of cars sold today already have data recorders installed.
You for not keeping your eyes on the road every time she's in the car. Then you might want to stay away from GM dealerships, because they're making sure she's riding shotgun from here on out. Over the next 3 to 5 years, GM will be teaming up with Seeing Machines to fit camera motion sensors into GM's next generation cars. This will make your car alert you every time your head isn't rotated towards the road or your eyes haven't been looking at your mirrors enough. And just like your wife, GM has your best interest in mind.
My team and I have created the first real-time facial recognition app for Google Glass. It's called NameTag, and it's powered by FacialNetwork.com. We are allowing limited access to download the app to Google Glass Explorers.
All right, so to start this demo, we've got a digital camera that's video recording into the prism on Google Glass, so we can see exactly what the Google Glass is seeing. We're gonna tap it, start it up. OK Glass, name tag. We'll take that little square, we'll put it on the gentleman up on the wall, capture his photo. It's going to send that photo up to the database, run the facial recognition software on it, and while it's doing that, we might as well grab another one It's running these faces against 2.5 million photos up in our database. And once it finds a match, it'll send that information back to us along with another photo. And there it is, Kanye West. So while we're waiting for the next photo, we might as well, oh, there it is, Bryan Cranston, also known as Heisenberg on Breaking Bad. Let's see who this young lady is. We're waiting for her results. We can get a photo of this guy. She's Taylor Swift. I don't recognize this guy. I'm not sure who this guy is. Oh, his name is Stanley. Let's see who Stanley actually is. Oh wow, he's a registered sex offender. Criminal history has been found. So if you scan him, you probably want to run the other way. So we know what you're thinking. Can name tag work on a real person? Well, let's find out. We've got a gentleman here who has Google Glass on, as well as a hat and a beard. Let's see if we can get a match. Sean McGuire. All right, we got you.
Nice.